Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. So, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Good morning, Dan, coming in from Buford. Jan, from your nest in paradise. Lauren's coming in from Common this morning. Good morning, Lauren. Wonderful to see you. And everybody else who is watching but who has not yet left a comment. Thanks so much for being here. It is wonderful to see you here this morning. Yeah, so we're here to do the thing we do every morning on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pull a card off the top of the deck, ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do it, we are building into our own lives and ultimately giving ourselves the perspective that we need. Fact is that the world is full of negative emotions, negative messaging, things that are designed to get us to believe that we're not good enough, or but that we could be good enough as long as we buy a certain thing or think a certain way. The fact is that we're here to celebrate our inherent value and worth this morning. So yeah, let's have some fun. Let's pull a card off the deck, and let's say that today I am imaginative. I am imaginative. I create ideal situations in my mind. So I am imaginative. I create ideal situations in my mind. Are you imaginative? You are imaginative. You create ideal situations in your mind. I'm going to write that down in the comments, and I encourage you to do the same thing as well. As we affirm that we are imaginative and that we create ideal situations in our minds. Indeed, I am an imaginative person. I remember as a kid that I was incredibly imaginative. I could just close my eyes and get lost in a whole new world. And I learned early on that I could either get lost in a world that I wanted to be in, or I could get lost in a world that I didn't want to be in. And so I thought to myself, I was like, well, why would I want to get lost in a world that I didn't want to be in? And the fact is that as I got older, I realized that in many cases, that there's a tremendous temptation to imagine things that we don't want, to decide things that we don't want, and it, we have a different word for it, of course, which is like worry or doubt or fear. Worry being a big one. Worry is when we are worshiping a future that we don't actually want to have happen. When we are intentionally thinking about something that we don't want, it's worry. And how what a misuse that is of our productive capacity. So I am imaginative today, and I'm going to create ideal situations in my mind. And it's not always the easiest thing to do. It's not always the most intuitive thing to do. I know, at least for me, my mind sometimes wants to latch on to stuff that isn't how I want it to be. It's fun to, it's fun to think about things that we don't actually want, because then we get to be right about stuff. We'd be like, oh yeah, I knew this would happen, and so now so now I'm thinking about all the stuff that isn't how I want it to be. The fact is that when we create ideal situations in our mind, it allows us to see the elements of those ideal situations in the world around us, which ultimately brings us closer to what we really do desire. And in the end, we have a responsibility to ourselves and to the world around us to imagine good things. To imagination really is the key to manifestation. Thanks, John, for saying that. And because what we imagine, the thoughts that we hold for a long time inside of ourselves, these things very much color our perceptions. Our perception is what it is that we perceive. What do we see? What do we hear? What do we feel? What do we taste? How do we interact with the world? In order for us to hold a thought about what we desire in our heads, we must also be reflecting that out into the world. We must be looking for it. We must be actively seeking it. And when we seek, we will find. And what we seek, we will find. And so that's why it's so important for us to make sure that we are seeking the things that are good for us, the things that are good for the people around us, the things that are good for the world in general. So I am imaginative. I create ideal situations in my mind. In fact, my whole life has up until this point been the product of my imaginings, and so has yours. And so when I think about all the really cool things that have happened to me in life, they are always the result of me imagining ideal situations, and and then being on the lookout for those ideal situations when they arrive. So I am imaginative today. And this card is our encouragement today. It's our permission slip to dream big, to dream not knowing how things are going to work out, but to dream anyways, and to recognize that just because we don't know how something is going to work out doesn't mean that it can't work out. It you know, when we when we imagine, when we create these ideal situations, it just gives the universe permission to to move everything into place that is necessary in order for us to achieve the things that are most important to us. So I am imaginative today, and today I dedicate myself to creating ideal situations in my mind. I dedicate myself toward making sure that I am actively using my manifestational powers, the power of imagining, the power of daydreaming, the power of intentional, focused thought, that I'm intentionally using these things to focus on what is most important, on the things that I desire to see in the world, the things that I'd like to see more of, because I believe that I am inherently a creative being, that you are a creative being as well, that we are taking, that we are creating together, and that we have these tremendous creative powers. And all creation starts in the mind. Every action that we've ever taken starts as a thought. We first must think it before we can do it. Well, we first must think it before we can see it. They say that seeing is believing, but really it's that believing is seeing. When we believe that something is, we will see the evidence for that thing. And so let's believe that things are which are good for us. Let's believe that things are which are pure and beautiful, and allowing us to really live life to its fullest extent. I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Looks like I got a couple comments here. So good morning again, Lauren and Jan, Dan. Good to see you guys today. Good morning, Donna, coming in from the HOA. John L. coming in from the sun as the sun rises in New Mexico. It's beautiful to watch the sunrise over the high desert. Hope you're having a good time out there. Let's see here. But yeah, John says imagination is the key to manifestation. Indeed, it is. And Dan says just my imagination running away from me or running away with me. It is indeed a song, Dan. And let's see. Good morning, Lane. Good to see you here today. And Jan says, I'm currently living a life full of good feelings I once only imagined as possible. From this wonderful foundation, I breathe deep and imagine wonderful feelings that I will have in the future. Feels like winning, indeed. And when we imagine good stuff, we get to stay on the or when we imagine good things for ourselves, then we get to live all of our tomorrows having imagined those things. When we see these good things in our life, we get to live all of our tomorrows having experienced that. And it sets us up well for the future. It allows us to have to really stand on the shoulders of where we were yesterday. All right, so anyway, I'm imaginative today. I'm going to imagine good things. I'm going to continue the visionary work that I do all the time, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll come back with another one of these. Until then, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. And this is your up to the moment reminder that you are awesome, that you have inherent value and worth, that you and I and all of us today together are going to change this world and make it more positive and make it better in our own image. So let's have some fun today. Let's imagine the best possible outcomes and create those ideal situations in our mind. And when worry comes or doubt comes or fear comes, let's recognize that that is a misuse of our imagination, and that we can immediately turn our imagination toward more productive things. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. I think that you're awesome and amazing and wonderful and beautiful, and much aloha to you from paradise.